WYMT Mountain News at 6.
New Year's Day is a time many see as a fresh start, but often it is one that does not start on the right foot for many who choose to drink and drive on New Year's Eve. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to police that are spending their New Year's keeping the roads safe.
The start to the new year kept I-75 busy on Wednesday.
It is a little bit hectic due to the holidays.
The biggest concern for drivers?
Well, the drinking and driving, they're hungover. I mean, they're not making real good judgments, this time of day.
The U.S. Department of Transportation reported over the last 5 years, an average of 300 people die in drunk driving related crashes every year. Officers say it's not just New Year's Eve that keeps them busy. Your drinking could affect your new year.
But because they have that alcohol in their system, it affects their judgment and they feel like they can drive.
Often, that's not the case, and it's pretty obvious.
People weaving, failure to dim headlights, maybe braking when they pass another car and don't need to. A lot of your more careless maneuvers, like maybe failing to use a turn signal, things of that nature.
Officers and drivers just ask.
Need to be more considerate to, us on the road.
If you've been drinking, don't get behind the wheel. In Laurel County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
And if you suspect any drivers of impaired driving, police ask that you call 911.
And we're already starting to see those clouds increase as we head into tonight, and that's because that soggy weather returns by tomorrow. We'll go ahead and take you up, though, as we look into some of our cameras into downtown Whitesburg. You're seeing a few clouds already starting to increase over there, but overall a pretty nice night. Looking outside the front porch here at Hazard, not too bad. You're seeing those actually clear skies right now. Temperatures right near 45 degrees, so feeling pretty good out there. Most of us into about the low to mid 40s, and really over the next couple of days we'll see those really just mild temperatures, but it's the soggy conditions we see return back to the mountains. Mid 30s though as we head into tonight with those clouds increasing, so waking up to those mid 30s for your Thursday. Maybe for some of you headed back to work, make sure to have that rain gear with you because soggy conditions return Thursday, continuing into your Friday and even into your Saturday. However, that rain looks like it'll transition into a little bit of a wintry mix by the time we get to a little bit later Saturday night and into your Sunday. We'll talk about the timing and impacts of the system coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Paige. Huntington police in West Virginia confirmed 7 people were shot early Wednesday morning at a bar. It happened at Culture Hookah Bar a little before 1:30 a.m. Some of the victims were inside, others were outside. Witnesses say a dispute inside the bar that continued outside may have led to the shooting. The 7 victims were taken to the hospital. No arrests have been made. Meanwhile, police in Logan County, West Virginia, continue their search for a shooting suspect. It all happened yesterday near the Whitman community. Deputies say this man right here, 55-year-old Ronnie Jr. Cooper, shot another man 4 times during an argument. The victim had to be airlifted to the hospital. We do not know his condition at this time. Cooper is described as 6 feet 2 inches tall and 300 pounds. Anyone who sees him is asked to call 911. Now to Louisville, that's where a Kroger security guard is charged with stabbing a customer who visited the store as it was closing. Police say that security guard, 63-year-old John Griggs of Louisville, reignited an argument with a late arriving customer as that customer was turning to leave. They say store video shows Griggs grabbing the customer by the neck and then stabbing him with a pocket knife. Griggs is charged with felony assault and due for arraignment in the morning. The family of Savannah Spurlock is helping another family find their missing loved one. Michael Gorgley was last seen in May of 2015 off of Knoblick Road in Junction City. Gorley's mother says she still believes her son was murdered and is working to keep his case from going cold. Shelby Lofton explains the new help they're getting to help the investigation.
The mother of a missing man is spending New Year's Day at a crowded Junction City Hardee's.
New year, newfound hope.
She thinks this stop off of Highway 127 is where she can get more answers about the disappearance of her son.
My son was murdered. I know he was murdered. I mean, I don't know how long they want to consider it a missing person.
The orange box she ties up with her daughter Jennifer held tips for Savannah Spurlock.
The link brought over 2,000 tips for Savannah. So we're praying they'll do the same thing for us and the boxes.
Hasty says she'll start checking the boxes once a week. Depending on the number of tips, she'll put up more.
Write it down on a piece of paper, do it the old school way. Drop it in the box, you know.
She tied the second box off of Old Hustonville Road, not too far from where Gorley was last seen. Hasty and her daughter say they don't blame folks for wanting to stay anonymous.
People don't want to put themselves in any kind of danger or fear of retaliation of coming forward, and I can understand that. They have their own families to protect.
No names, just tips. In the box they hope will hold the truth of what happened to their loved one. In Boyle County, Shelby Lofton, WKYT.
Spurlock's friends and family also donated a box to the family of Linda Price, a Boyle County woman also missing since 2015. Now, this all comes as the man charged in the death of Spurlock prepares for a court appearance later this week. David Sparks is due in Girard County courtroom for a hearing that was continued back in November. He was indicted in Spurlock's murder back in August, and this weekend also marks the one-year anniversary of Savannah Spurlock's disappearance. She was seen leaving a downtown Lexington bar on the morning of January 4th. Her remains were found in Girard County back in July. Governor Andy Beshear is making good on his campaign promise to defend Kentucky teachers. He's rescinding a decision made during the Bevin administration, calling teacher sickouts a violation of state labor laws. In a release, Governor Beshear said that those teachers were wrongly accused.
I think with the governor that is supportive of education, I think it will be a different environment and a different feeling this year.
Following yesterday's announcement, Beshear's Labor Cabinet Secretary Larry Roberts wrote a letter to the Inspector General saying teachers were exercising their constitutional rights during those rallies. Legislators return to Frankfort next week. The first day of the 2020 legislative session is Tuesday. It is a 60-day session and is scheduled to adjourn April 15th. Lawmakers are required to pass a 2-year spending budget this year. Among other issues, they will likely take up the pension crisis, baby restrictions, sport wagering, and the legalization of marijuana. Martin County is losing one of its community staples as Inez IGA prepares to close its doors. The store, which was once known as Inez Supermarket, then ShopRite, before becoming an IGA, has been a part of the Inez community for 6 years. Store owner Judith Owsley inherited the business from her father, and she says she has worked hard to keep the store going, but the economy and big box stores became too much to keep the doors open. She says the Wearfield IGA will remain open and encourages customers to shop there. UK quarterback Lynn Bowden says someone stole everything out of his car just before the Belk Bowl yesterday. He tweeted today, quote, "To the people that broke in my car yesterday and stole everything we had in it before game, God blesses you. You gave me extra fuel for the game." Bowden says everything he bought during his Belk Bowl shopping spree was stolen. Bowl officials say they are working on replacing the stolen items. It was a New Year's treat for many in Pikeville last night. Eastern Kentucky native brought in 2020 at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. Childers earned his first Grammy nomination for Best Country Solo Performance. And if you were there, you may have spotted our very own Steve Hensley and WYMT alum Tanner Hittersburg. Steve says Tyler put on a great show. And just in time for 2020, WYMT's parent company, Gray Television, is teaming up with the Opry Entertainment Group to launch a new television and streaming channel, and it debuted today. We've been listening to that country music all day in our newsroom. Circle is all about celebrating country music and the country lifestyle. You will likely need to do a rescan to pick up the channel. We have information on how to do that on WYMT.com.
And as we head into tomorrow, we're going to see that soggy weather return. Clouds increase tonight, and could we possibly see a wintry mix by the weekend? I'll have all those details coming up in just a little bit.
10 stories you clicked on over on YMT.com.
When you